The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Finkel. I suppose if you're in the West Coast, it's not quite afternoon yet. We are here today to talk about Economic Development Week 2018, and I am here to give a quick overview, and we have a fabulous group of presenters along with David Leeser, who's going to be moderating as soon as I've done giving this quick overview on Economic Development Week. Hopefully everybody that is on here is a member of IEDC. But if you're not, I would, we're having a small technical difficulty here, and I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. If you're not a member of IEDC, we certainly hope you will consider it. We are the organization for economic developers. We have about 1,500 members, and they are all working in creating, retaining, expanding jobs, developing tax base, and enhancing wealth. The cool thing from my perspective is we are also the world's largest membership association in the field of economic development. EURADA, the European Association of Development Agencies, has less than 350, 400 members. The World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies is rather small, has a staff of less than 4. IEDC has nearly 30. I've always said that we're probably going to retain this position until and unless China decides to set up an economic development professional group, and then we'd be eclipsed in a heartbeat. The highlights of today's discussion, we are going to talk about some of our past winners. I think we have some past winners on the line with us. We're going to talk about engaging elected officials, creating an exciting promotional campaign, entering your campaign for an IEDC Excellence in Economic Development Award, and then there will be some questions and answers that you can get towards the end. There is a question box that you can type your questions into. It's do they see the same thing we do? Attendees, questions, and chat. You click on questions, you type in your question, and that will be available to the real experts on this call as they go through this. You know, frankly, this has been pretty exciting. Barry Matherly, who was a past chair of this organization, came up with this idea of having an Economic Development Week. The first year that we had it was also the year that our annual conference was going to be in Anchorage, Alaska. And as I ended up that entire week of Economic Development Week, I did something here in Washington, did something in Minnesota, and then had a press conference with the mayor of Anchorage, Alaska, and we were on all 3 television stations highlighting Economic Development Week that year. We've had approximately 500 campaigns since the inception. We've had great state and local government support from elected officials. I think one of my favorites so far was the governor of Colorado last year actually did a video celebrating Economic Development Week and thanking his economic developers in the states for what they did to help bring about change, bring about jobs, improving tax base in their communities. There have been hundreds of news articles, blogs, and social media mentions. And frankly, David Leeser, who I will be introducing in a minute, he got his mayor, and she was quite active and David had both a great social media campaign, but they also did a great number of videos that supported their Economic Development Week. As a reminder, the dates this year are May 7th through the 12th in 49 states. The state of Maryland, I think it is fair to say, had maybe the original Economic Development Week. They are going to continue to have theirs in the fall, and we support them at doing that. IKEA has a reminder of the official hashtags for 2018 is hashtag Econ Dev Week, hashtag EDW 2018, and hashtag Quality of Life. And frankly, she wants for you to share your campaign events with her. I guarantee you she is very active on social media. She'll be sharing them on Twitter. She'll be posting them to LinkedIn. She also has accounts on Facebook, and what else do we have? Instagram. And Instagram. And so if you give her something to work with, I can guarantee you that she can make a lot happen. From the very first year that we did this, we started out with a toolkit. Andy Levine of DCI out of New York, whose firm does a fair amount of public relations in the economic development and tourism world, he helped us think outside the box, or think outside of our own box, and helped us think about how other people did Economic Development Week, or whatever their particular association or world was. And we looked at all of those, and we learned from them, and we created a toolkit based on better practice or best practices of many of those. I would encourage you to look at that Economic Development Week toolkit. It may give you some good ideas on what you should do. It gives you information on how do you engage elected officials. David, I think at the time that we had the first Economic Development Week, was active in our accredited Economic Development Organization Committee. I believe David may have been the chair at that time. And we challenged them to come up and draft some model city, county, state resolutions so that cities and counties could maybe pass local government resolutions honoring Economic Development Week, their staff, the activities that they were undertaking. We've had mayors declare it Economic Development Day or Economic Development Week in their community. We've engaged elected officials in a variety of different ways. A number of our members go see their press and do press briefings with the editorial boards of their local media. Some people have done advertising. Some people have done social media calendars and done a fair amount of social media. You know, we like the fact that we decided to create an award around best practice in Economic Development Week. There are a number of ways to get awards through IEDC, and you may be aware that we're kicking off the awards program and have over the last couple of weeks. But there is an award for some of the better Economic Development Week programs as well. So if you're doing something cool, interesting, out of the box, you engage more people, you do more social media, you do an interesting video, we would encourage you to put those things in and apply for an award based on the wonderful things that you are doing. As an aside, you know, this is a time when not only are we kicking off an awards program, we're kicking off the Economic Development Week activities, but we're also in the middle of federal legislation. We're trying to save the Economic Development Administration, CDBG, CDFI, Opportunity Zone applications are due about now. And we have our Fed Forum coming up March 25th to 27th. We want you also thinking about, and you may be able to use some of your federal legislators around Economic Development Week, also encourage them to understand what are those tools that you use, and use Economic Development Week as part of your lobbying activities for your local government, your state government, and in our case, your federal members of Congress or senators. It's an important thing. We've have a document called Why Invest in Economic Development, and it goes through a lot of the tools that we use. I appreciate you all being on the call with us today. I think we have a wonderful set of panelists, and I want to turn it over to my good friend David Leeser, who has been engaged since the very beginning in this, both in helping us do these initial resolutions, but taking an active role in getting his community to participate from year one. With that, David, you want to take it away?
Jeff, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I want to share Jeff's opinion that Economic Development Week is an important time to promote our industry, and it was thrilling to be a part of that. So, being one of the first award winners, I'm going to briefly kind of go over some things that we did in the city of St. Charles, but also I'm going to be very quick because the other speakers have come up with some really great ideas, and I think you all will learn and benefit from that. There's my slide, and that was the award that we won at IEDC a couple of years ago. We're very proud of that, and I tell people who know me is I always put that picture up there because they don't think I can go anywhere without wearing a necktie. So I'm trying to prove that I can go out someplace without wearing a necktie, but it's a very rare occasion. There we go. Real quick, just an overview of the city of St. Charles. We are suburban St. Louis. If you've flown into St. Louis, we're 15 minutes west of the airport. We're on the Missouri River. We're the third largest metro community in the metro St. Louis area. We're the 9th largest city in the state of Missouri. Some of our claim to fame is we are the home of the beginning and ending point of the famed Lewis and Clark expedition. That statue you see up in the upper right-hand corner is in our Frontier Park. We have historic Main Street, which has a tremendous tourism base for us. We have a diverse employment base. Our largest employer is entertainment. We have defense spending, or defense with Boeing. Healthcare is a huge part of our industry. Logistics. So we have a lot going on here, and so we have a lot to celebrate with terms of economic development. We also do a new incubator, which is down on our historic Main Street. You see in the lower right-hand corner, we call that the OPO Startups, which is the former post office down on Main Street. So it stands for Old Post Office. And of course, like a lot of communities, retail is a major component of our community. That lower left-hand corner is parts of the streets of St. Charles, a mixed-use development that just took place here in St. Charles a couple of 3 years ago. So how did we celebrate? Well, we pulled our allies in because we wanted to celebrate them because they are a big component of our economic development. In the upper right-hand corner, we actually took our allies from the state of Missouri, the Missouri Department of Economic Development, my own staff from the EDC of St. Charles County and from the St. Louis Chamber to lunch, and we held up the 90th year anniversary banner that was handed out for everybody to see. In the middle there, you see my mayor, Sally Faith, and I'm very blessed to have her as my mayor because all I have to do is walk into her office and say, "Mayor, would you?" And before I even get to finish the sentence, the answer is yes. She's really a strong supporter of economic development and is willing to do items such as this. She's actually with Ward Shaw, who runs Ameristar Casino, our largest employer, and he is a huge supporter of us. And then in the lower left, that is a celebration party that Greg Pressman and his group at the EDC threw to not only honor all of the economic developers in St. Charles County and the region, but the people who we work with to say that they are a part of that. And you see the statewide resolution that we got from our state representative at the time, who passed this through the Missouri House of Representatives. So we had local and statewide proclamations and recognition for this. Again, what we focused on was the fact that economic development is a team game, because we understand that it's partnerships that make us work. We got recognized because we recognized others, and they picked up our Twitter and our Facebook and our LinkedIn efforts. So whatever we did, they pushed it, and it made all of us look better. A couple of things that we did both internally and externally. Lower left, we do a joint business event celebrating Business of the Year with our Greater St. Charles County Chamber of Commerce. And so they celebrated it with us at that event. That's the ladies who represent the chamber. The gentleman in the center is Joe Ward. He is our Director of Tourism and CVB. And as we talked about with Lewis and Clark and with historic Main Street, tourism is a major industry in the city of St. Charles. And so it showed how we worked together. And another way that we actually recognized others, and which also came back that got us recognition, was my department issues an electronic newsletter every other month. It goes out to over 5,000 subscribers. And we asked Jeff and the staff at IEDC to write an article about Economic Development Week. And they presented it. We put it in our newsletter. We put hyperlinks to the websites and the like, and we got a lot of play from that. And again, we shared it with everybody. So we built this award through a lot of different ways. Jeff talked about getting the award, and I want to say we are very proud of our award. We're very thrilled that we got it, but it wasn't about getting the award. It was about celebrating the industry. We've promoted it through all of our media channels. Like many cities, we have a public access channel, and we've got a great media department who does all the social media, does all our TV station work. So they worked a great deal with us in that. We talk about social media. The great thing that we do here in St. Charles is social media, because my economic development department has a Twitter account. My fire department has one. My police department has one. My CBB tourism department has one. The city has one. My parks department has one. And so we share and retweet everything, and the same with Facebook and LinkedIn. So we just continue to push everything for each other, and it really casts a wide net for everything. And I really wanted to recognize my staff. That to the lower left is Travis Wilson and Susie King, who works in my office, because they really pushed hard. I got to get the award. I got to go accept the award, but really it was a true team effort. My staff did that. What you see is my mayor at a city council meeting, recognizing us and also celebrating Economic Development Week at a city council meeting, which again is broadcast live on our public access television. So we pushed it very hard internally and externally. So in the end game, what did this really mean? We celebrate here in St. Charles, and we just continue to build on it. We don't want to just say, hey, we did economic development, because we believe in the industry of economic development. We support what IEDC has done for us and is doing for us. So we just use everything to cast that wide net of why economic development is important. We are an AEDO, accredited economic development organization, that Jeff talked about. We're very proud of that. We won the first Pioneer Award for Economic Development Week. And again, it's that differentiation. We use that to say that we are part of a great industry. We celebrated the award. Yes, we got the award. Yes, it sits in our offices. It sits right next to my assistant. But we made sure that those who participated in it got recognized also for this award. It wasn't just us. We're very proud of being a part of the economic development industry. And let's face it, folks, as the last question says, if we're not going to do this to recognize our industry, who will? It was time for us to step up and say, we want to celebrate economic development. We want to celebrate Economic Development Week. We want to show how important it is for us and for everything. So with that, I'm gonna stop here, because we got a lot of people, some really great presenters coming up on board, ready to give us some really cool ideas. But if you do have any questions, that's my contact information, my email, our website, my contact information. And so with that, I'd like to next go to our next set of speakers. Representing the city of Seaside, California, we have Sharon Mikesell and Gloria Stearns. Gloria serves as the Economic Development Program Manager, and Sharon is the Administrative Analyst with the city. Both were instrumental in helping Seaside secure the Gold Winner Award for the Innovation in Economic Development Week Award category. I've seen I saw what they did last year. It was really good. Very innovative, and I want to applaud them for that. So Sharon and Gloria, we're glad that you're here with us today. I'll shut up and let you take over and explain how Seaside, California, really celebrated Economic Development Week. Ladies.
Yay! Yay! Thank you, David. Thank you. So first of all, this is Gloria and Sharon, and we're coming to you live from the city of Seaside, California. And I'm also going to tell you that we are also sitting at the CalEd conference, which is the State Economic Development Conference for California. And so there are hundreds of people here. There's economic development people all over the place. And we're happy to be broadcasting from the CalEd part. So I just wanted to say a shout out to our CalEd friends, and some of them actually used to work at IEDC, so it all kind of ties back together. All right, so it looks like we have our slides back under control here. So I'm going to pop into just a little bit of context for you. So how about if we take a look at Seaside, California? So I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, most of you might not know where Seaside is. So if you go to San Francisco and you go south just a smidge, there's Seaside. But you golfers are going to know places like Pebble Beach. Some people know about Monterey and Monterey Bay. We have the gray whales migrating across our bay right now, as it's about 60 balmy degrees here. Seaside is actually a minority-majority city, and we're currently creating a new downtown. Our city was basically economically challenged after the Army base pulled out. So Fort Ord was here, and we had over 40,000 people here. And all of a sudden, when they pulled out, we've been left with a big hole in our city. And how do we get things revitalized again? So we're currently creating a new downtown, and we're also redeveloping over 1,000 acres of former Army base. And that alone is an economic development coup, in that we get a chance to basically redo a lot of land in the city. And this is a little sidebar, by the way, those of you who do brownfield redevelopment, you have nothing on us. When we talk about our redevelopment issues on our Army base land, there's live munitions there. There's things that go boom. So it's a little crazy, but that's how Seaside kind of rolls. And then we're also very heavily dependent on the tourism economy. So, and that was a theme that we already heard once today, that this economic development week really seems to work well, especially if we have a large tourism segment. So we really do need marketing. And it's always good to have someone else start doing your promotions for you. And I spent several days before we even started submitting some information on the promotion to various coming event sites. This particular one you're seeing on this slide is from the Monterey Convention and Visitors Bureau. And it just takes a little time to get in there and put all these information on these bulletin boards that are coming up so that other people will promote for you. But we also went to other sites that included the Monterey Peninsula Chamber of Commerce, the Seaside Sand City Chamber of Commerce, our local newspapers, the Monterey County Weekly and the Monterey Herald. So when you put the mix of agencies, press, and some of our friends in TV and radio together, and you get some friends that are willing to help, your promotion is going to be good, but you do that groundwork before you start. And here's one of my tweets, because at that point, we didn't really have a Twitter account at the City of Seaside, so sometimes you just kind of take the reins and do it. Sharon, I'm going to interrupt. Sharon's what we call our ninja. So the city was really controlling on social media for a while, and Sharon does the ninja reporting. So she did a lot of economic development stuff through her personal account, and it was one way to get around a little bit of a rule that we had. And ultimately now we do have Seaside Create. So that's our economic development Twitter handle now. And thank you to everyone who followed me throughout this process, because I got a lot more followers during this nationwide, so that was kind of fun. But what good is a promotion if nobody knows about it? We made it official, and we social media'd the proclamation that was going to happen. And we also made some fun things to have alongside because the proclamation just wasn't going to be enough. We needed some exposure. We said, we'll take a picture at your favorite place at Seaside. That would be good. That wasn't going to be enough. We needed our own hashtag, but not just for Economic Development Week, just for us. We love Seaside. So we said, let's take a selfie and promote Seaside Love. Now we have to remember it. Uh-oh. So we decided, how do you do it? You take a selfie, but how do you do that? You take selfie sticks. So we took some little pieces of cardboard and popsicle sticks, and we started crafting. So we needed selfie sticks to put in the selfies, so everyone would remember the hashtags. We had a lot of arts and crafts sessions. So it was time to make it official. Here it is. There's the official proclamation. It's very official. But wait, there's more. We took over council. So when they were doing our proclamation, that was kind of fun. I sort of am known as a little bit of a disruptor. So that's me with the mayor. And we got them in on the fun with the selfie sticks. You can see them even photobombing in the background there. Those are our council members. And what we did is we basically did like 360 degrees of pictures. Our council is actually round, the whole chamber room is. So we took pictures of everybody on social media. We took pictures of the mayor, of council, and we were posting those everywhere. So you can see our council, all the people attending the meetings, all holding up their selfie sticks. And it was really funny because these selfie sticks ended up being really popular. If you make them cute enough, people want them. So there was a whole bunch of people demanding these things. So Sharon had to do some crafting. So we had more arts and crafts the next day. And here they are again. Here's the city council. They had to get into the act too, and since they were the big shots, they got big selfie signs, not just the sticks, the signs. So just ask their help with a promotion. They'll be more than happy to do that. You know, that's a big thing because you keep talking about how to engage elected officials. And I think one of the most important things is just to be willing to ask them. And you might be surprised who responds. Some of them will jump at it more frequently than others. But once that started, all of a sudden we started seeing other people. This is a group that we really didn't have any connection with at all. And suddenly they're tweeting about their favorite place to eat while they were biking in downtown Seaside. Tweets started immediately, and we're adding some bike lanes in Seaside. So we love bicycles, and the bicyclists apparently love Seaside as well. The pictures just started coming. If they didn't have an account themselves, they would come to us and say that they would like us to tweet them for us. And you can see the businesses getting exposure in the selfies because we're kind of asking people to take a picture of their favorite place. Who is that masked man anyway? We encourage people to take photos wherever they went around Seaside. And this particular tweet actually promotes two businesses at once, because Bio One Central California actually was going to the UPS store. And we also learned the more you tweet and you get retweeted, then you get more people participating. So this marketing effort was snowballing. Of course, here's another one that was submitted for tweeting. Kids love Seaside and ice cream and selfie sticks. And there they all are. Our participants ranged from the very young to the young at heart. Not everyone is social media savvy, so they asked others to post for them. This particular picture was actually taken by Councilmember Dave Pacheco. And that's how much that he participated. He loved the awareness of the campaign, but he didn't really necessarily want to be in the pictures himself, so he asked other people to be in the campaign. We even talked about Seaside on a local TV show. There's a taping of a restaurant review show. This particular one actually featured all Seaside restaurants, and the taping took place during Economic Development Week. So, of course, we outfitted everyone with the selfie sticks. And this particular event keeps on giving. This episode ran throughout May. It's still available on demand through Access Monterey Peninsula local TV, and you can watch it online. Here's a photo that features members of a local bike group. They took their selfie sticks to dinner with them and submitted their photo to the local ninja. The lesson you learn here is even if people don't use social media, just ask them to email you their pictures and you can post them for them. Here's another one by Council Member Dave Pacheco. He enjoyed taking photos of other people at seaside places and promoting them. And of course, these guys took Seaside Love pretty seriously. But as an aside here, Bottoms Up Home Brew was actually named one of the outstanding small businesses in Monterey County later that month. So he got some extra cross promotion. Oh, wait, there's more. Don't just stop because the contest is over. The judges like the swag too. So when we packaged up our application to get the award, we actually put in selfie sticks, media pictures, and I tweeted it outside the post office saying, here comes the package. Of course, Seaside, sorry, Seaside wasn't the only winner during Economic Development Week. We actually had this as a contest, and we had exciting goodie bags of Seaside swag that were up for grabs. We had contest categories that included the most prolific poster, a kaleidoscope with the most colorful selfie, the Who, if you couldn't quite figure out what was going on there, and sign of the times, in front of a sign, of course. And we also had a category called Puppy Love, but apparently puppies did not want to fetch those selfie sticks, so maybe they have an award winner in that next year. But then we found out that we won.
Yay!
Yay!
And so that involved a trip to Toronto, and I was the one luckily enough to go on the trip, which was a great event, by the way. And if you haven't gone to an IDC conference, I recommend that you go because you get to meet a lot of people. You get so much exposure to so many events, and then plus you get to see ideas what other award winners have done. So it's just a great value overall to do. So we were even tweeting on the way to the conference, and it's funny because IDC gives you these badges to tweet, so we used that. Next up, I had the opportunity to do some media interviews while I was there, so that was great. And the first thing I did was I gave credit to all the businesses and all the community members because those are really the people who did all the work. You know, staff prepares all of this stuff and we make it look easy and we make it look fun. There's a lot of work behind it, but the success really comes from engaging the community. And I think that's so important to remember. And that was exactly what I talked about in all of the interviews. So here's the award picture. You too can win an award at IEDC and get your picture taken just like this one. And you can see the lovely selfie sticks that we crafted. We didn't stop crafting. And in fact, people still come to City Hall and they take our selfie sticks. We're kind of amazed that they like them that much, but they do. They keep coming. And again, this was another, right after I got the award, I was taking pictures of it and social mediaing right there on the spot. And even as we've been doing this conference, we're social mediaing as well. So I just want to remind you, there's never a time to say no to promoting your city, your town, whatever cause it is that you're hashtagging.
Yep, we are still tweeting, still promoting, and winning was indeed a learning experience. There's a lot of things that we learned. It's that we can merge with other events. We find that more events that we find out about, we can merge with them. And to engage people of all ages, we found out that, unbelievably enough, that we missed some of the teenagers and probably could have gotten more college students involved. But that's just one of the things that you learn when you do a promotion. One thing we definitely learned was that people love swag. We couldn't keep those selfie sticks in stock.
They're still getting them. They just love those.
They love
magnets, selfie sticks, all of it. They love it all.
And to leverage everything. If we're doing one thing, we're doing two. Which we're doing today. We're at the CalEx conference doing this now and tweeting. This is crazy. And reach out to everyone. And of course, the biggest thing is to hang out with a popular crowd. We found out that there's a blog group in Seaside that has 3,000 followers.
And that might not seem like a lot to you, but our city only has 35,000 people. So 10% of our population is following just this one guy. So when we get this one guy and his friends, our marketing snowballs. So you need to find those guys and those people in your community too, and make sure you leverage those efforts. So our tip for you on this one is just make sure that you have a catchy hashtag and make sure that you're ready to gear up for
hashtag EDW 2018. So I think that's wrapping up our PowerPoint.
It's not going to what I thought was the last slide, so this can be the last slide.
Yeah, so this will be a great last slide. It says hashtag Seaside Love. So I hope you all get the opportunity to experience the city of Seaside. If you come golfing at Pebble, if you come and visit Monterey, come and visit Seaside, because we have a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great things going on. You can see our downtown as it's being built. We always say Seaside is a city on the move. So come and join us. So I think that wraps up our presentation today.
Good, I think so. And we promote Seaside Love and Economic Development Week. Thank you, IDDC.
Yeah, thank you, IDC.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Sharon. Folks, that was great. It shows that you can do something worthwhile and still have a whole lot of fun at it. I got to tell you, when Gloria was doing her interview at the IEC conference in Toronto, I was in the room. I was interviewed next. And you could just tell the more she talked, the more excited she got. And she was just really taken by this. And I want to give both Sharon and Gloria a lot of applause for their efforts, because that looked great. And you can just tell the excitement in their voice. So again, thank you very much, Sharon and Gloria. Next, I'd like to welcome Sarah Larson. She's the marketing manager for Invest Buffalo Niagara. Sarah helped Invest Buffalo secure the Silver Winner Award last year. She'll share with us strategies from their campaign. And as a reminder for everyone watching, this year's Economic Future Forum will be in Buffalo. So make sure you set your schedule for that. That's June 24th to the 26th. So Sarah will also provide some information about the conference during her presentation. So Sarah, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here and join the webinar, and I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to join the audience today, and I'm going to take us from California over to New York State, complete opposite end of the country. Little note on that. To be honest, growing up, I always said I was not made for this region. Why am I here? When I graduate, I'm going to California. But I was born and raised in Buffalo, Niagara, and after beginning to work in the region, starting to raise a family, and listening to those who were coming home and explaining why they were moving home, I soon realized I wasn't going anywhere. And I've been working with Invest Buffalo Niagara for over a dozen years now. Invest Buffalo Niagara, and you'll hear me refer to it as INBN, is a team of 12 with a core focus to attract business to the region to grow jobs and investment. We are separate. I know some organizations are combined with their chambers. We are separate from our regional chamber, although we are housed together. We share many services, and of course, we collaborate together. Collaboration is key to our success, like Charleston, as well as in the campaign for ED Week last year. See if I can get the technology to work for me. There we go. Buffalo Niagara is located in the western section of New York State, sitting along both Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, with two major cities, Buffalo and Niagara Falls. Yes, one of the wonders of the world. To the west of us is the Canadian border, where Toronto is just 2 hours away. We are made up of an 8-county region, and we work really closely with our IDAs in each county. With them, other area partners, and our wonderful investors, we could not be successful as we are, nor could we have accomplished all we did during ED Week 2017. During ED Week 2017, our focus goal of the project was to educate our 8-county community on economic development and its impact in their lives. We wanted to create awareness of what we do, and we wanted to show the faces of economic development with powerful imagery. We also wanted to showcase the agility of our region. So our campaign created an 8-county roadshow, a content-rich blog series, and a photographic-heavy social campaign. Also a proclamation and video release event. So I want to start off actually by going through some of the planning that we did. At this time last year, we attended this kickoff webinar. We downloaded the IDC toolkit and we began brainstorming. We developed a plan with really a very low budget. I think we spent maybe $600. We left room in that plan to take on a life of its own, and it did. We had clear objectives and tasks with minimal expectations, but also set maximum ideas, and the result really did fall somewhere in the middle. From there, we created kind of a mini toolkit or one sheet of our own for our partners, stating our objectives, our plans, requesting their participation, and including graphics and social cards for their use, as you can see on the slide here. We made some pre-made cards, and we also allowed them to add content themselves to some backgrounds. We then followed up with each county in the discussion call and included their thoughts and ideas in our planning. So we did lay the groundwork starting with an 8-county road tour. Our road show meant that we went out to all 8 counties, had in-depth discussions, toured businesses, met with the workforce, walked the streets of the villages. And we did this with a very visual prop in hand, like Seaside did. We created multiple 3-foot by 2.5-foot poster boards with a New York State cutout that left our Buffalo Niagara region in place and highlighted it. We distributed these signs to each of our counties as we went out to visit them, and we took a step further with the one that we handed them also featured their specific county, as you can see on these slides. The sign with the EDW hashtag on it created a consistency for us from county to county visually and in social campaigns. Many photos were taken by not only our NBN team, but also throughout the week with our partners capturing photos of various ED professionals, businesses, students, the workforce, all various industries that our 8-county region represents, and the community and the variety of it. Our roadshows really provided us very timely content to produce 8 unique stories highlighting each county as part of a blog series we created. The blog series included a look into our daily work, such as stories on what we call bell ringers. For us, as you can see on this slide, we have a physical bell in our office that we ring every time a new company comes to the region. We also laid out an anatomy of a project in a blog, how we go about naming projects. I'm not sure how other communities do it, but as you can also see in one of our blog stories here, a lot of our naming of projects go back to Seinfeld episodes. So that's gone on for years and hasn't gone away. In addition, of course, then we had all these county blogs. And in doing so, we tried to use catchy titles, which worked because we drew a large audience, such as this one shown here for Genesee County. 5 economic development professionals walk into a bar. The photo related to that, captured in that bar, was our lead social post as well. There we go, some social. As we visited each county, we posted on social as we were going to each county, including a newly launched Instagram. So we did Facebook, we did Twitter, we did LinkedIn, and we started an Instagram account where by the end of that week, we had 70 followers just in that week. The regional signs we used during our visits yielded fantastic photos of the faces of economic development. One face was that of a waitress that we had at that bar. She was thrilled that she was waiting on a table of all ED professionals as she was pitching us her own business plan. And as I mentioned, this was our most popular post, having 16,000 views. We posted pre-made social cards highlighting our web tools, sharing statistics on the work we had done over the years, and promoting data from each of our counties. We posted as blogs were released during the week of Economic Development Week, and we reposted all the great photos that we had taken, the content and activities our partners engaged in on their own. They also posted as well. They shared ours, we reshared theirs. And then during Economic Development Week itself, we also had a proclamation and video release event with the city of Buffalo and with Mayor Brown, who at the event signed the proclamation and released 2 new videos our organization helped them produce and write. And of course, those were quite popular. The results? Well, our multiple campaigns yield some amazing progress and truly helped us spread our message of our economic development industry. There are dedicated people working hard to cultivate our economy, and we are proudly sharing their stories. Throughout our campaign, we posted 15 blogs with nearly 1,500 views and 53 clicks to our website. Our overall social media campaign successfully saw at least 200 impressions for every post, but our highest was that 1,601. Our partner marketing videos with the City of Buffalo received nearly 1,200 views in just the first 3 weeks. And our efforts live on. One county recently updated some of their marketing materials over the last year, including their website, as you can see here on this slide, and our signage for ED Week made it into their lead banner photo. And ED Week 2018 has begun this week for us. We've already downloaded the fabulous materials that IEDC has provided. We've begun brainstorming and developing a rough plan that we are currently reaching out to our partners to fine-tune. We'll be able to carry over many of the efforts that we participated in last year, and we have great ideas for adding some exciting new elements to it this year. And I just want to wrap up and say that, it doesn't end here, much like Seaside said. We are participating this year in hosting the 2018 Economic Future Forum in June and are excited to do so. Early bird registration has begun and continues through April 20th. And I invite all of our peers to come and experience the Buffalo-Niagara region. And I want to thank IEDC for recognizing our efforts last year. And we are so excited and looking forward to not only what we have planned for this year, but also celebrating alongside our peers in seeing what all the economic development organizations across the country are doing to celebrate Economic Development Week 2018. So David, I'm going to pass it back over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate it. That, again, a great presentation, and it kind of shows that the innovation that takes place in doing all this. Let me also, again, reinforce what she said about the IEDC Future Forum in Buffalo coming up in June. Folks, if you've not been to Buffalo, I have. It's a great community. It's more than just Niagara Falls, which is an awesome place to see, but they've got a lot to offer. I think you will have a great time and learn a lot in June in Buffalo, so thank you. Our final speaker for today is Kimberly Woodworth. She's the Operations Director for the Economic Development Council of Colorado. And I think what's great about what we're doing today is this is something that can take place throughout the nation. We've got California, we've got Buffalo, and now we've got Colorado. Kimberly's office worked with the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade to secure the Silver Winner Award last year. Kimberly, welcome to the webinar. We look forward to hearing about your campaign efforts in Colorado. So without any further ado, Kimberly Woodworth.
Thank you, David. The EDCC was established back in 1976 to help promote effective, responsible economic development across Colorado. Today, we are the state's premier economic development resource, representing the economic development interests of both the private and public sectors throughout the state. We connect our communities, our members, and our partners to high-quality educational opportunities and trusted resources, and advocate for sound policies and programs that support a vibrant economy and enhance quality of life for all of Colorado. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, David. Last year, EDCC teamed up with the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade, also known here in Colorado as OEDIT, to showcase Colorado's collaborative spirit by promoting Economic Development Week. We gathered a committee from both organizations that included our marketing teams to coordinate our marketing efforts. OEDIT created the Colorado-specific toolkit, the proclamation of the governor, a video, and finally a press release from OEDIT's executive director. EDCC also sent out a press release, promoted the campaign through its membership channels, encouraged participation, and coordinated social media efforts. I included our Colorado-specific toolkit in this presentation. We added the Colorado strategy to the table of contents. And then we also added a page that listed our strategy for the week, which I will discuss in a bit further into the detail regarding the theme for each day. We also included the letter from the executive director at OEDIT, as well as the Colorado-specific press release template for our members to use, and then our social media strategy. To help create excitement and participation around the campaign, we also included a contest for those that shared their success story, and they received a Choose Colorado t-shirt. Here is the proclamation that we had the governor do, and then here is the video from our governor.
Colorado is excited today for the second annual National Economic Development Week. We're partnering with the Economic Development Council of Colorado to celebrate and honor local economic developers who generate growth, create better jobs for residents, and facilitate and improve quality of life throughout Colorado. Annual economic development is a process that is strengthened by the critical partnership between economic development professionals and local and state government leadership to promote a shared vision for developing resilient communities. Economic developers like you foster an effective business climate and meet the increasingly critical need for a skilled, competitive workforce. That's why I'm proud to proclaim May 8th through 13th Economic Development Week in Colorado. I look forward to reading all the economic development success stories online and encourage you to connect and celebrate with your peers through social media. Use hashtag EconDevWeek or hashtag EDW 2017 and tag @ColoradoEcoDevo whenever posting on your channels. We thank you for your continued collaboration and partnership with the state, and we look forward to our continued success.
So we shared that with all of our members and partners throughout the state to get the excitement rolling about Economic Development Week. As I mentioned earlier, we had a theme for each day. The themes were based on a recent study conducted by OEDIT on resiliency. The study helped answer questions on how certain communities can bounce back quickly after economic downturns, while others lag behind and sometimes never completely recover. This comprehensive study showed that communities that were strong in public-private partnerships, community leadership, sorry, I'm trying to advance forward here, sorry, community leadership, industry diversity, a strong community vision, access to education, healthcare, or transportation are the communities that are resilient to economic shifts. We based the topic of each day on each of these key findings. My partner in crime, Meredith Marshall, who is unable to attend today with OEDIT, added that Colorado has an extremely collaborative network in place, which allowed for our Economic Development Week campaign to reach a broader audience. The results of our campaign, we had over 100 engaged users on Facebook, a total reach of over 2,200 and over 3,400 impressions. On Twitter, we had 130 engaged followers. We reached 6,200 and gained 191,000 impressions. And on LinkedIn, we had 51 interactions and 7,400 impressions. I've included examples of some of the media hits that our members and strategic partners in our campaign received. It even reached the ag news, which we were pretty excited about. I've also included examples of our great social media activity that we had. I wanted to share Denver South Economic Development Partnerships campaign, who participated the entire week, starting off with the example of a successful public-private partnership, which was tackling transit issues. The link included a link back to the City of Centennial's webpage, Go Centennial, highlighting its pilot program that addresses the first and last mile problem, how to get travelers to and from or from transit stations. This model applied an on-demand, demand-responsive mobile platform to provide efficient transportation connections to and from the Dry Creek Light Rail Station in Centennial. Partners involved were the City of Centennial, CH2M, Denver South Transportation Management Association, the Southeast Public Improvement Metropolitan District, Lyft, Via Mobility Services, and Xerox. Denver EDP's success story for community leadership spotlighted their recent coordination of the Colorado Smart Cities Alliance. Denver South EDP's industry diversity linked back to their webpage, highlighting their industry clusters and using a very fun meme. And then ending the week with a thank you for a successful campaign. Metro Denver EDC also had a wonderful campaign. First, starting off with their press release, which I'm linking back to their website. And they talked about the purpose of economic development. They did create a really nice infographic, and then talked about the groundbreaking examples that economic development has done in Metro Denver, including the relocation of the World Trade Center into the new Rhino District, the new flights that are connecting Denver internationally, Panasonic locating along our new air train by the airport and helping us with smart city solutions. And then finally, BP Lower bringing over 200 jobs to the Platte River Valley. Their social media campaign, they are very famous for their memes. And this one actually connected back to their website to celebrate their regional cooperation, which links to over 50 regional economic development partners in which their regional organization works with. They also brought in news and deals, talking about their company reloads and expansions in the area. And then finally, giving a high five to the collaboration that we have, working together for a vibrant future, economic development without boundaries. It's how we do economic development in Colorado. And then finally, an example with the Grand Valley Economic Development Partners campaign, which include the Grand Junction Economic Partnership, the Grand Junction Chamber of Commerce, and the Business Incubator Center, created a video campaign highlighting their successes within the specific theme days. Public-private partnerships, community leadership, a business perspective, a key component to successful economic development. And their efforts led to a Bronze Excellence Award in IEDC. And here is one of the press that they received for that award, and then it also mentioned the state's effort in winning as well. And so finally, I just wanted to say that we are thrilled to have received the Silver Award for the 2017 Economic Development Week. We are looking forward to our collaboration in 2018, which will build off of our efforts from last year. And we also have come together already and are putting together our campaign for this year. This marketing campaign is gaining momentum, and we encourage that all economic development organizations to think big and get as many elected officials, businesses, trade associations, and media involved. The sky is the limit. So David, that's it. That's what I've got for you. So I'm passing it back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kimberly. I think the one thing you can get from all of these presentations is first of all, you can have fun with it. You really can. And I got to hand it to Kim with the memes. That was awesome. I was laughing back here. I'm glad I was on mute. The other thing I think people can find out about on this is really, if you look at it, they didn't spend a lot of money. This was not a major budget problem, so they were really inexpensive. But with that being said, we've now got it opened up to questions. In case there are questions to any of our panelists, I do want to let you know that Sharon and Gloria had to go back to their conference. They're not online with us anymore, but if you do have questions specifically for them, you can contact us at webinar@iedconline.org. Again, webinar@iedconline.org if you have specific questions for Sharon and Gloria, but Sarah and Kim are still here. We do have a couple of questions. That first of all, one of them just said it's not a question but a comment. Sharon and Gloria are great panelists. They're giggling all over here in Texas. Yeah, I think all of us were laughing about that. They did a great job. Another question we got was, can Sarah go back to the slide with the individual Economic Development Week day themes? They thought that was very, very interesting. Akia and Michelle, I don't know if we can go back to that. If we can, that would be great. But I also believe that once we are done, you'll get a questionnaire about this webinar, and once you answer that, and this has been the past practice, then you'll get a copy of the PowerPoints. Michelle, Akia, I don't know if you can get on to verify that, but can we go back to her slide? Is that possible?
Yeah, so we're going to go back to Kim's presentation. So Kim, get ready. We're going to transfer Sarah. Sorry. So yeah, we're going to go back to Sarah's presentation, and yes, you'll get copies of the slides and the evaluation that you'll receive after today's webinar. So be sure to fill that out, and you'll have all these helpful tips that you can keep for yourselves. Okay, and Sarah, you have control if you want to go back to that slide, and maybe if David, you can refresh us to which slide the viewer was referring to.
That was the one that said the individual Economic Development Week themes that she had, that people were very interested in. And again, that was a really good idea that you gave every week a theme on that. I'm kind of looking at my slides right now, trying to figure out which one it is.
Yeah, David, I'm not sure either which one they're talking about. Giving themes. There was only 1 week. I'm not sure if they're talking about this slide where there were multiple different areas that we touched on with the campaign.
I'm wondering, and maybe I'm wrong, I wonder if they were talking about, because Kim had some themes on hers too. I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's just, again, for the person who asked that, again, when you get the survey, fill the survey out, and you'll get all the PowerPoints, and you'll have all that, and then you can contact Sarah or Kim afterwards to get more information from her. Can we do that?
Sounds good.
Okay. There was a question right now from somebody who wanted to know if they couldn't sit through the whole program, but they want to know if is the recording going to be available for them. Michelle, is that going to be made available for them too?
Yes, we should have the recording available probably tomorrow, so within the next 24 hours.
Okay, very good. Very good. I appreciate that. So yes, the answer is yes.
And then and also the recording, it'll also be available on IEDC's YouTube channel.
Awesome. Very good. And now we're finding out that it was Kim's presentation they were talking about that. But again, when you get the presentations, you'll see all of that, and we'd recommend you contact Kim either by phone or email, and she can talk to you more about that. So another question that we have received is, and again, Kim or Sarah, either one or both of you can answer this, is, was there anything that really surprising that took place, or some special memory that really just kind of, you sat back and went, you never expected that from doing your Economic Development Week programs?
I think when you're asking other counties to participate, you never know what's going to happen. And I think that's when we built the plan. We had specific objectives, minimal tasks that we wanted to see happen with broader ideas and greater plans. And we thought maybe we'd fall somewhere in between and leave room for the unexpected. And I was really pleasantly surprised that so many members of the different parts of the counties jumped right on board, love the signs, are still using them. And I think it's just, that photo, very visual component, much like Seaside, that people really gravitated to. And I think I pointed out too in the presentation, the one woman, the waitress, when we sat down for lunch to chat, was just thrilled with what we were doing, the signage. And obviously our audience loved it too, because that was our highest post.
I think for our campaign, it was so neat to see, the different communities showcasing what was special to them. And we had really good participation from both urban and rural communities across the state.
Very good. Excellent. Got some other questions here. We have a question from somebody who says they were wanting to know if there was any if there was a group that had any issues actually that was getting engagement from the public officials because of an election, during an election. They said right now they have a municipal election approaching in their community. So they have some concerns about community engagement and getting involved, getting involved in the political scheme of things. I can answer that too, but I'm going to turn it over to if Kim or Sarah have an answer to that too. I don't know if you experienced that or not.
We didn't experience that because I think that economic development is really a coined term that is used in a lot of different ways, and I don't think that it would be a bad way of someone who is going through the election to be able to talk about it, and if you can feed them the information that helps them, maybe transcend your talking points, I think that they would definitely use those because it would help them in the end. But again, you'd have to be able to communicate that well to their campaign folks, and making sure that they are able to do that.
Yeah,
I think I would echo Kim's comments in saying that I think the officials are very supportive of what we do in the economic development realm. And we often leave the political side, almost always, to the chamber. And I think that helps in our particular situation where we're very separate from the chamber.
Good points. Very good points. And just for us, we had a municipal election just for some city council members. They supported economic development, but I got to say that they had enough on the ball to not make it a political issue. Fortunately, economic development is something that everybody supports here, so we did not get in the middle of all that. A question here for both of our panelists: what was the budget for planning and running the campaigns?
Yeah, I mentioned right away that I think we spent no more than 600 is what my numbers showed. Really, everything you're doing is very social and free. We didn't even boast any of our posts on social media as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have a budget. We everything was done through social media and online efforts.
Yeah, we didn't either, and I think probably the most expensive thing we did was the luncheon that we paid for our economic development allies. I mean, it really was. I want to stress again, it was very inexpensive. So I'm trying to check through here. I don't see any other questions at this time. Michelle, Akia, if I'm missing one of the questions, please let me know. I'm scrolling through real quick to make sure I get them all. I don't want to.
Hey, David, this is Akia Eichmann-Bruce. Here's a question. Would you do anything different today than when you first worked on your EDW campaign?
For us, I know always we look back and evaluate what we've done. I wouldn't change anything, but certainly we have lots of additional ideas that we're planning for 2018 18, so I don't want to give any away, but we're pretty excited.
The one thing that I can suggest is start as early as you possibly can, especially when you're trying to coordinate efforts with several people. The earlier you can get it onto calendars and to get it onto elected official calendars, and making those asks beforehand, the better off you're going to be and more successful you'll be at the end.
The only thing I would tell you I would do differently, and I'm hoping to do it this year, is to we did a really good reach in St. Charles City and St. Charles County in the St. Louis region, but I'm hoping to expand that. And I got some really good ideas from our panelists today. So I always tell, my wife worked for a politician who once said originality is the art of concealing your sources. So I'm going to thank our panelists for giving me these original ideas.
I will say the one thing that we didn't do was really reach out further to our elected officials, and that's something we will focus on, probably in the form of a roadshow, much like we did with the counties, but separate from them, reaching out further to our elected officials.
Okay, and we have, I will say, we've already done something that we are not unveiling it yet, but it involves Economic Development Week, and I think it's pretty cool. So look for that. That's my teaser for the day. Again, Akia, Michelle, I don't see anything else unless I'm missing. So are we ready to wrap the program up and do the very last presentation?
Yeah, David, that's just fine.
Okay. Again, I'm looking around to see if there's any more questions. I don't see anything else. So I do want to to me, to end something like this, I always just want to have people remember some things that's taking place. Again, we're encouraging everybody to get involved in this and get excited about this. I think it's really a great program to be involved in. It promotes economic development. I know we as economic developers, sometimes we don't do a very good job of promoting ourselves. We're great at promoting. We're great at pushing other people. We're not good at pushing ourselves. But I want to encourage everybody to use this to push other people and to promote other people, because in the long run, it will promote you and it will promote the industry. I do want to remind everybody, when you do this, especially through the social media, use the hashtags, the hashtag EconDevWeek, hashtag Quality of Life, hashtag EDW 2018. Also, we want to make sure everybody heads to the website at iedconline.org at /EDW. There is a number of resources there. There is a toolkit there for you to use. And we also want to stress for everybody that there's both a toolkit, an economic development toolkit for North America and an international economic development toolkit. So all of our friends throughout the globe will be able to participate in Economic Development Week. It's not just an American thing, it's a global thing, because economic development is a global program. So please go to the website, iedconline.org /EDW, pull down the toolkit and use that, because there's a lot of great ideas. In the end, let me thank Sharon and Gloria from Seaside, California, Sarah and from Buffalo, and Kim from the Economic Development Council of Colorado. They've got some great ideas, great presentations. I thought they did an outstanding job. I want to thank them for presenting today, for giving us their time and efforts and intelligence, and they just really made Economic Development Week a really good, beneficial program for all of us. So with that being said, I will turn it back to Michelle and to Kia if there's anything else. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to serve as a moderator today. I got some great ideas, and I'm hoping everybody else got great ideas from today. So I'm going to put the challenge out to everybody. Let's see if we can do even better this year on Economic Development Week so we can promote this industry. So thank you for your time. And Michelle, Kia, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, David, and thanks to all of our speakers today. There's, certainly a lot of great ideas that were shared. And again, just a reminder to everyone viewing, we'll have a survey out to you within the next 24 hours. So you'll have a link to the recording to download, as well as for all of the slides. So if there's anything you missed while you're taking notes, you'll have all of this available. And then if you do want to share the recording, we'll have it posted on IEDC's YouTube channel. So we'll have a link for that as well. So thank you, And Akia, did you have any final comments?
No, I just want to thank all of our presenters as well, and I want to wish everybody a successful Economic Development Week campaign. We are here if you have any questions. You can find our contact information in the toolkit. And if you are interested in adapting the art and need raw art files, you can also find an email address for who to send your requests to. We would be happy to help you with that. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.